There we go. All right. Sometimes you click on a button and nothing happens. Welcome to the Night Owl Writers Room with Rich Hosick. That's me. And tonight, I was going to go ahead and show you guys. I'm working on remastering one of my old episodes, so I thought I'd show you that process. And if you look here, you can see you're probably not going to be able to make this out well because I'm like using a large monitor and stuff like that. But I'll talk my way through it. It's just easier for me to work on this if I can see more stuff at once and all that. But I also wanted to show you guys something here. So I entered this thing called the Book Life. Let's go and bring it down here. The Book Life contest for independent authors here. Let me bring this up a little bit. There we go. And I entered 3 books. I entered my books, Near Death and Afterlife, and then um, the Dead Kids Club. So I'll bring up the report for Dead Kids Club. This is probably the worst one in terms of the review. So basically, what happens is you submit it for there, you pay a fee, and then they do an analysis of the book through their thing, and then somehow you get qualified as a finalist for the contest. So in this one here, they gave me there's a synopsis, and they gave me 10 out of 10 for originality, which is nice. 9 out of 10 for plot. Prose 7 out of 10, which I okay. It's kind of like a very terse, very quick paced thriller. I can see where the prose is not very literary. And character execution 6 out of 10. I was surprised because they really sort of made a thing here. They said the 2 central leads are powerfully wrought, their anguish both haunting and galvanizing. Their therapy gently nudges them onto an unexpected path, and Hosick tenderly airs their motivations, trauma, and healing. I thought that was worth more than a 6. Anyway, originality exploring the parent's moral journey, peppered with a series of support group confessions, keeps this introspective journey in motion. And the intimacy Hosick crafts between readers and characters is jolting, which is what I went for. So that I agree with there. That's kind of nice. The prose, Hosick's stark writing style, and I was intentionally stark. It's a thriller. It's some of the chapters are just a few paragraphs long. It's a very fast paced. I wanted to make it a very page turning thing. I remember when I was reading The Hunger Games, and I'm like just going through it and going through it, and I realized why. It was because it's written in present tense. And when you read a book in present tense, you're like in the moment and you have to see what happens next because you're there at that moment. It's not like, oh, this happened a while ago. We can find out what happened later. It's like you got to know right now. All right. So the Hosick Stark writing style mirrors the splintered existence of grief, unfurling the story of 2 bereaved parents with nothing to lose in short, grinding spurts. So I think he didn't like the grinding spurts, but that's okay. And the plot idea, this one he gave me a 9 out of 10. After divorced parents experience the unthinkable, losing their young son to a drunk driver, they begin an intricate plan to exact revenge on the heartless killer, who is the son of a mafia boss. When they join a support group to throw suspicion off themselves, the therapy might just save them from a deadly decision. Hosek keeps readers intricately embroiled in the plot as it hurtles toward an unseen but satisfying ending. I agree that ending is very satisfying. All right, so that was that, and so out of overall 8 out of 10. Okay, not too bad. Let's now look at Near Death. So this is the other one. This is the first book in the Rainy and Day series, and here we had basically eights all across the board, which is interesting. So they thought it was good, but not great. And you know what, I agree. This is a solid 4-star book. Um, I do have a lot of 5-star reviews on it, but I agree that it's I didn't write it to be like a literary masterpiece. It's not the great American novel. It is a, a mystery with ghostly undertones that is just hopefully very well crafted and very entertaining and very well and satisfying to read. So, the plot idea: near death, a rainy day investigations a paranormal mystery novel, which is briskly paced and consistently engaging. Its impressive cast of characters, spearheaded by the odd couple of Rainy and Day, are well orchestrated, and the story is dynamic and involving. Let's make this a little bit bigger here. You see that a little bit better? Okay. All right. Prose. The text is a collaborative effort between Hosek, Rudnick, and Auerbach. Actually, I wrote the text, but they wrote the story. But and their skills combine well, providing great attention to detail in the crime scenes in particular. The world of paranormal investigations is convincingly realized, thank you, Lloyd Auerbach, with sharp naturalistic dialogue and a keen eye for plot development to boot. And the dialogue, I have to give credit to Arnold for that because he and I wrote, God, how much dialogue did we write when we were working in television? Just hours and hours, days, years of dialogue. And when you do that a lot, and then when you get a chance to actually see it performed, it gives you a chance to evolve and to sort of develop an ear for that kind of stuff. So that's why I really encourage writers to read their own stuff aloud, see how it sounds. Because if you reading it aloud, does it sound right? And you're the person who created it, there's something wrong and you should probably fix it. All right. Originality: Near Death is a gripping paranormal mystery thriller littered with tangible elements of psychic phenomena. The writing team has a knack for effortlessly creating tension filled drama with promise of further entries in the Rainy Day series to come. Yeah, so this here, littered with tangible elements of psychic phenomena, that is intentional. That is Lloyd's contribution here. I take a lot of stuff from his books, from his experiences, from his life, and incorporate them into the book because he is a very grounded guy. He is always, when he does his investigations, whenever he makes appearances, he's very careful to only uh, um, present concepts, ideas, evidence that he personally can back up. So it's good. Character execution: the bizarre investigative pairing of Jennifer Day, a parapsychologist, and Nate Rainey, a police detective, is extremely effective and gives the book a sharp and dynamic focus. Furthermore, the often intricate character descriptions help transmit personality traits very successfully. Thank you. That was something I was very proud of. Blurb: a dynamic paranormal mystery thriller. Okay, well, okay. So anyway, so that one was another 8, 8 out of 10, but eights all across the board. And the last one I submitted here was Afterlife. And this one, we got a plot idea, 10 out of 10. Originality, 9 out of 10. Prose, 10 out of 10. Character execution, 9 out of 10 for 9.5 out of 10. I'm hoping that's high enough to get me into the finals here. Out of the 3 books, I actually would have expected near Dead Kids Club to excel. Interestingly enough, Near Death did better at the Reader's Favorite Book Awards than Afterlife did. But the reader in this one really enjoyed this one. Getting tens is kind of like really proud of that. So the plot idea on this one: this attention-grabbing story starts with a bank heist gone wrong, quickly jumping forward 15 years to present times, where the authors interlace a paranormal investigator, a skeptical ex-cop, a lost treasure, and a freshly released convict whose wife happens to be a ghost, into a well-ordered, suspenseful novel. The story keeps interest throughout, and the ending has a reveal that will satisfy mystery fans. Readers will be eager for more in this series. So this part here, well-ordered suspense novel. This, I think, is attributable to the outlining I do on these books. The first one was written off of a screenplay, so we had the plot was very well outlined. I added a lot of stuff, fleshed it out to make it a novel, but basically the beats were there. And so here, what I did was I basically each chapter I outlined it. I gave it, like a paragraph or two, just to sort of give me a sense of what direction was going and what was happening, so that it would be well paced and I would have the characters spaced out in the right way. Prose: strong, simple prose makes this well crafted mystery as easy to read as it is engaging. The style builds tension slowly while also allowing readers to glean information from the more character driven moments in the novel. Yeah, that's something I really strive for too. Simple prose, I don't consider that a criticism. That is a compliment. Simple prose, because I'm looking for something that's accessible. I don't necessarily want to write, like I said, a great American literary novel. That's not what I'm out here doing. I think I've got something like that in me. I will be working on that later in my life, but these books I just want to make accessible, make spread out and get in front of as many people as possible. Originality. Here we go. What sets Afterlife apart is the novel's play on the dead helping solve crimes of the living. The authors construct believable interactions between the book's supernatural beings and living characters. And Maureen, the resident phantom with keys to the story's hidden treasure, is gifted a strong, meaningful voice. This is this really makes me happy to hear, because one of the characters in the book that whose point of view we see from time to time is Maureen, who is a ghost. And it was a it was a challenge to sort of like try to imagine how to tell the story from the point of view of someone who was dead, who was non-corporeal, who was just whatever a ghost is. And a lot of this, the information, a lot of the inspiration of this again came from Lloyd's work, and you know the certain things, and also my sort of introspection on what it would be like to be a ghost. Because when you think about it, when you're a ghost, you don't have a body, right? And what does our body do? It sort of is our one biological clock, right? Without a body, you have no biological clock. You have no clock. You have no sense of time. The only thing that anchors us to time is the fact that, hey, we have to go to sleep. We have to wake up. We have to eat. We have to work. We have to look at the time. When you're a ghost, you don't have any of those restrictions, or you do not have to worry about that. You can go days and weeks, you go forever without having to feel hungry or eating, right? None of those biological processes take over here. But at the same time, where are you? How does your memory go on? Is it is it all there, or is it kind of like dispersed? Do you have full grasp of everything you've been? Perhaps some ghosts do. Perhaps some ghosts do. But in Maureen's case, she has kind of just been sort of sitting in the house of her room, waiting without any concept of how much time is passing. Before she knows it, it's 15 years, a new family has moved in, and she discovers that she can talk to one of the kids, and he can see and hear her. What does that mean for her? For a long time, she was afraid. What if I leave this house? Will I cease to exist? Those kinds of things, when I felt myself thinking them, when I felt Maureen telling me them, because I truly believe the characters live inside your head and you gotta listen to them tell the story. You're just a transcriber. But when she, expressed, it's like, "What are you feeling here? Why don't you go around?" "Well, I'm afraid to. What if I only exist in this house? What if I went outside, I would cease to exist? What if I went somewhere else, I would cease to exist?" And that's a fear she has for all that time, but it doesn't feel like time to her. Excuse me. Because she has no biological interactions. So anyway, really happy that that came through here for this particular reviewer. Character execution. Nate and Jennifer, both facing the fallout from their previous careers, are an unconventional couple. He's still shaking off an injury from his police days and convinced every psychic is a fraud, while she's rebuilding her reputation as a professor interested in paranormal investigations. The two blossom throughout the story, and the authors add in a supporting cast that resonates. So that's great too. They have the supporting cast is a lot of fun with this in these books. They're gonna have a bigger role in the next book, which I'm working on now as we speak. Not as we speak, but contemporaneously. So I'm really excited about this. I'm hoping this 9 out of 5 out of 10 means I will make the finals of this book prize here and get some more attention to this. And that'd be great if I can time, the release of Farsight with an award from this. That'd be great. Get people interested in that. All right. So I just wanted to share that with you because I thought that was really cool. Um, get rid of this. Ooh. Okay. Sorry. I have been not getting enough sleep, but I've also been getting more done too. So that's good. All right. So here we go. So I partially started remastering this and giving it an introduction here. So I've got the traditional introduction that goes here. Um, and we'll play that little bit for you over the top here. So over the front. Who doesn't like it? Oh, hang on a second. I bet you could probably hear that better if it didn't go through my headphones. There we go. Who doesn't like a campfire story? Those scary tales told by the dying light of burning logs that leaves us lying in our sleeping bags, eyes open, wondering if maybe it wasn't just a story. So, lay another log on the fire, put your arm around the person beside you, and wrap that blanket tight around you both. Or it may not be just the cold air that sends shivers down your spine. White. The snow came down in large white clumps, so quickly that my footprints were erased as fast as I made them, trudging back to the cabin from the woodpile. All right, so I'm going to grab this here, copy this, paste that up there. Cabin from the woodpile with an armload of logs. A satellite dish perched on my roof was buried in the winter snowfall and completely useless. But I didn't need. All right, so I think what I did is I uh, close the door here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some more footsteps here. Change the timing on this a little bit here. All right, so let's play this over again here. The snow came down in large white clumps so quickly that my footprints were erased as fast as I made them, trudging back to the cabin from the woodpile. Okay, so I've got this extra door close here. What do I have? This is door open and then door close. Okay. So I can put those on the same track. So I did this a lot in my early days. I put each sound effect in its own track, which was unnecessary. Logs. A satellite dish perched on. All right, so once I close the door, I want to cut off this wind. Let's bring this over here. Cut that off and then bring this over here. So the levels here are lower. So once we close the door, logs. A satellite dish perched on my roof was. All right, so I can take off this footstep here. And there we go. You know what? I forgot about something. I'm gonna have to cut this short, guys. Um, well, I'm gonna continue working on this tomorrow, but I have got to go. I apologize. This is gonna be a short one. Thanks for listening to me brag about my book reviews, but I'll see you tomorrow.